Jackson. Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go!
Hello, Pack-O-Maniacs, and welcome to another episode of Pack to the Future. I'm your host, Ricky, a.k.a. Mr. eBay. And I'm joined by my co-host, partner in crime, and birthday boy week, Dr. Chad.
Someone call for a doctor?
How you doing, Doc?
I'm good, buddy.
And we are also joined by a group of PTTF experts.
Yes.
That's right. I said experts in their respective field to help us break down, timeless moments.
Timeless moments. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, nailed it. We've got our boy Boston Steve. We've got our boy Mysticata. And we've got Bright Light, Big City, Promo D, Kansas City Dan. All here to join us, help break down the respective sports that have been covered across this Timeless Moments insert set. And I'm pretty excited to learn about them. So with that, Chad, why don't you help us dive into this? How do you want to structure this?
Yeah, sure thing. So let me tell a little bit about the inspiration for this, and we'll give a little bit further breakdown on what these guys are here to deliver, and then we'll go ahead and kick it off from there. So Carter had made a post on Instagram, and I'll let him talk about what that is when it comes time for him to do that. He's going to cover WNBA, but it inspired me, and it made me think about Timeless Moments cards and made me think how we've covered them on various product releases, about a Timeless Moment card that I own. And in a very similar fashion to what we've done with Kabooms and Downtowns in the past, I thought that we would give Timeless Moments a little bit of love before Panini's departure in, well, I guess Panini has departed in most of these major sports, but thought we'd give it a little bit of love. So with that being the case, as opposed to you and I trying to pretend like we know what we're talking about in these various sports, we brought on people who actually do. So we'll go a little bit in chronological order. We'll start with MLB. Promo D, it's your time to shine from Brewer and Baker podcast, which, by the way, if you have not listened to, everyone needs to go listen to that. They just had their 1 year episode and unleashed some pack fury, which was a pleasure to listen to, Dan. So thanks for accompanying me and my dogs on our walk this morning while you did that. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what baseball has done with Timeless Moments?
Thank you, Chad and Ricky. I appreciate that. So I wrote a little speech so I made sure I covered everything. Chad, could you pull up the Maddox that I sent you?
Yeah, sure thing. Here we are.
So,
wait for it. And we
Upper
got it.
Deck was actually the first one to use the Timeless Moments name. They started an insert set called Timeless Moments in 2008 and 2009 Pieces of History. It was an insert and insert relic set. So you have a base insert that had where the relic is in the relic card. It had either the player's position in 1 year or the team logo there in another year. I always hated that part of 90s or 2000s relic cards, how they had a very obvious window where the relic went. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So on the back of the regular relic card was a small description of the big moment that the player was involved in. And that was replaced with a generic, this is a relic card with a game used piece of jersey or bat or whatever bit on the back of the relic card. So in order to kind of get the full experience of the Timeless Moments idea of the card, you actually had to have both. The image on the player, or the image of the player on the front of the card was always just a generic mid-pitch or mid-swing picture of the player. Timeless Moments didn't come back as a set until 2022 with the Panini version, which was introduced in the then new 3-2, kind of a high-end set. It is what we think of when we think of the when we think of these timeless moment cards. They're horizontal. They have an image of the player, an iconic moment that the player was involved in. Sometimes they're autographed, sometimes they weren't. One of these that Chad has pulled up is the Mark McGwire hitting home run number 62 in 1998, the one that broke Roger Maris's 61 home run season record. This is one of my favorite cards in the baseball version of this set. So 3 and 2 has been around ever since 22. They've continued using or putting out the Timeless Moments set in that ever since then. In 24, Panini included a Timeless Moments version in Impeccable. I chose, very obviously, an Alex Gordon a card. These are all autographs. This image is of his rounding first after hitting the game-tying home run in Game 1 of the 2015 World Series against Juris Familia.
Dan,
It's
this
a
looks
vertical
far
version of the
better
set.
than the traditional timeless moments. Like, I just have to stop and interrupt. The impeccable in baseball is not something I was familiar with. I really like the look of this card, even more so than McGwire. And it appears that this autograph is on card as opposed to the other stickers from
Yes.
Panini 3 and 2.
This one's on card. Yeah, this one's on card.
It's good looking.
I do like this particular card. It's vertical, so it's not horizontal. It has less room for the player, for the image itself to speak. But in this case, they did use a very good photograph. The third one that I included, some of the other ones, yeah. So this one is of Cal Ripken Jr. after he broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive games record. And then the next one is of Bill Mazeroski rounding third after he hit the World Series winning home run in Game 7 of the 1960 World Series. So these are the best photographs that I could find. I'll be honest with you, I'm not all that impressed with the photography that was used in Panini's sets. They're generally pictures of them mid-pitch or mid-swing. And even if they are of the moment that is being described on the back of the card, they could be any pitch or any swing that the player had throughout their career. These moments I included here are recognizable, iconic ones, and there are so many more that they could have used. Carlton Fisk waving a ball fair.
Yeah.
Kirk Gibson full body arm pumping as he's rounding second base. Just to name a couple. George Brett bounding out of the dugout in New York. There are just so many other images that they could have used that they didn't. And I'm really not. The baseball version tends to not be as iconic as, say, Dennis Rodman diving for a ball. That may come up during the basketball discussion. So that's my breakdown.
That's well done. And guys up here, I mean, everyone feel free to chime in or comment about these if you want to. I know it's a little tricky when we got 5 of us here, but I mean, there's no reason not to if you have something to say. Dan, I completely agree with you. I love the 3 and 2 for baseball. I love the quality of them. I love the fact that they're sealed. It's really hard for me that the ones that do have autographs are sticker autographs, and I hate that in baseball. I feel like that Cal had a prime opportunity to be autographed, which would have been a much more delightful card in very much somewhat an iconic photo of him. But gosh, the Impeccable, I think, was a nice surprise for me. Do you own any of those?
I don't own any of these. I didn't even know that the Gordon existed until now. So,
Okay.
so I may go and look for that. It's up available on ComC, but I'm not really willing to pay for what the seller's asking for it right now. But yeah, that is definitely on the list now.
It's a gorgeous card.
right? No, it sure seems to hit the marks. Well, let's transition over just a little bit. We'll continue this theme and go in chronological order. NBA, Steve, you had quite the task with this because the NBA has been pumping out some timeless moments here for a little while now. So from Hoops Hobby Hangout, Boston Steve, welcome to the show. God, it's like closer to my bedtime. No, to my wake up time than it is my bedtime where you are right now. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, and I get up early on Fridays to actually go play hoop at the school I work at. So I'll be getting like an hour's sleep tonight. But I'll be dreaming about you all because this conversation will still be in my head.
Yes.
No, I think you're right, Chad. That this is. I don't know when they started doing it in football, but I would assume the timeless moments. I'm pretty sure started with NBA. So they football. The NFL had Panini 1 before the NBA did, and then the NBA in the 2019-2020 season released Panini, and they called it 1-and-1, so to play off the a foul shot after a made shot, and right from the drop they had the timeless moments. So from 2019. 2020 release cycle up until at least 24-25, they had timeless moments each year. They eventually got to the point where they were doing non-autograph versions, I think just to have a reason to get LeBron and Wemby into it because they never had their autograph license. But for the most part, it's been an on-card auto set, and there's a ton of them to go through. Oh, and leave that right up, Chad. Pull that card back up.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a little story.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
2019, 2020, this set hit hard. I don't know if you guys remember it all. Even the people are bought. I think you could get like a hobby box, which at the time was expensive, but they were like $280 or so. And they very quickly jumped up to like $700-800 because of this set. So from 2019, 2020, Chad's got on screen right now the Paul Pierce, and that card was a redemption. And I got way too geeked out about it to the point where I bought the redemption early on before it had gone live. And I went dark. I went off all social media because I didn't want to see the card. I wanted to have the experience of opening it up because Pierce has had, he had already retired at this point. So he had so many timeless moments, whether it be like 26-point comeback in the 2002 Eastern Conference. They won. One of his greatest games was the Game 7 against LeBron in the 2008 semis. Even when he was with the Wizards, he has a famous moment in the playoffs where he hits a game winner over the Raptors, and the announcer goes up to him, and he hits a bank shot. He goes, "Did you call glass?" He goes, "No, I called game." Like, he had so many moments that went viral. And man, was I so I went dark. I think it was like 3 months. I didn't go on social media. I logged on once on Instagram to talk to the people and be like, "Hey guys, I'm fine. Like, I'm alive. I'm not going to be on social media." I didn't go on Facebook. I didn't do nothing because I wanted to see what this card was. And it's a jump shot at the end of a game in the first round of, I think, 2010 against the Heat. It is a very lackluster moment in Paul Pierce's, first ballot Hall of Famer career. So when you ask Chad, what is everybody's criteria for this? For me, there's a couple. One, it has to be a moment that's memorable. I don't remember that shot against the Heat. I mean, it was a first round playoff. I remember the series. I don't remember that moment, But Ricky, I hear you. It's not, for me, it doesn't need to be like a shot, a moment for an NBA player. And I'll get to this with the first card I talk about. But something that is just so recognizable that fans are going to recognize it as important. The other thing is the autos had to be good. There's some really nice cards, but the paint pens can kill it. Like Magic Johnson has a really cool one, recognizing some moments from the 85 finals against the Celtics. So here we have peak Magic Johnson against the Celtics in the 80s. But the paint pen looks like it threw up on the card. So it's just this amoeba of silver ink going across the card. So it has to have a clean moment. It has to be a moment that's recognizable, clean auto. Yeah, right there, Chad. And some of them, he went even bigger with the auto. That's actually kind of a nicer one than a lot. The other thing is the photography has to be there, but it has to be a photo that, like Dan was saying, recognizes the moment, right? So there's like, the Trae Young one from, I think it's 2019, is excellent. He's at the top of the key taking a 3-point shot, and they basically have from the other end line. But it could be any 3-pointer he took, and it's just to highlight that he scored a lot of points that game. So I was pretty tight with my criteria. There's like a million of them that's perfect. Chad, you are quick, my friend. So the first one that I want you to, if you have, I'll talk slow so you can kind of pull it up. The first one I went to is 24-25, Jeremy Lin. And so this one for me, I just absolutely love this card because it recognizes Linsanity. So when Chad pulls it up, you're going to see Jeremy Lin on his cell phone. I just imagine him doom scrolling. He's in his Knicks uni. He's with a teammate who they're reading Time magazine together, and it's the Linsanity cover. And that to me, Linsanity was such an amazingly crazy moment as an NBA fan that I think this is a great example of what this set can be. It's got a clean, I mean, he's got a small auto, but there's a spot there for the autograph. It's a good, crisp blue ink auto, and just a very cool moment. So, and I don't know if you want me to slow down so you guys can throw a little commentary, if you want me to just keep flying through these.
I've got something there. I love the fact that it's more of like a candid photo and isn't necessarily, right in the middle of the game. Some of those things do make me stop, even though I can't tell you exactly where this came from. The magazine, as you said, pops, and it makes me stop and think. Like I would stop mid-scroll if I was just looking on eBay to check this out.
For sure.
All right, Chad. Second one I want you to pull up, and just so the listen, I had to pivot and go on my phone, so it's not like I was unprepared, even though I didn't write down notes like Dan did. I'm kind of just free flowing here. But 2019-2020 Vince Carter. And so this card is going to be one of, I think, the most iconic nostalgia photos in all of the set for those of us that are 80s, 90s, early 2000s kids. So this is Vince Carter's famous slam dunk championship photo. And the way it was set up, the auto, it's a silver ink auto with a thin ink to it. It's just, they edited perfectly. Vince is like basically jumping off the card. This is really, I think, a masterpiece of this set. I don't really have any other commentary. Everybody that's a basketball fan probably knows that image. It's kind of kicked off the Raptors franchise. It kicked off everything we know about Vinsanity from the NBA perspective. I love this card.
That's the best looking auto I've seen with the silver paint pen they used on these cards. I don't know how it looks the thinnest, cleanest. His autograph is beautiful on top of it.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm going to get to one, Ricky. That's a good point, because the next one I'm going to bring up is more I'm bringing up because of the importance I think it had to kind of kicking off this set, but it does have a kind of a thicker, not as clean auto. It's a little streaky. It's the 2019-2020 Dennis Rodman. I feel like this is the card when we talk about this set. While it's not a specific game that I think jumps to people's mind, the image is so iconic. And this is one of the cards that, as I was an active collector during the time the set came out. This was one of the top chase cards for this set. So I just felt like I had to give it a call out, in the top cards. I don't have much connection myself to like a Bulls fandom. So it's not, like I said, not a moment that stands out to me, but it's more about the collectability of that card. And I think what it did to springboard this set.
It's an amazing card.
It is. The photo is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, I got two more for you guys, and I'll try to be quick with them. So, Chad, 2020, 2021, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And this, we haven't talked much about like the playoff moments or the championship moments, but this is in the same playoff series, the 85 finals against the Celtics, the Lakers and Celtics. The Lakers took in 6 games. This is Kareem given a sky hook. He split the defense between Larry Bird and Robert Parrish. This is when we think of the 80s rivalries and we think about what the Lakers and Celtics did for the NBA, it was these series. And that 85 series pushed the Celtics to go and make their power team in 86. This is just everything that I think this set can be. And this is, one of the most, I would say, from a marketing perspective, one of the most important, playoff series in NBA history. And I don't think that's an overstatement. So this card, just great photo. Abdul-Jabbar, I wish it was a thinner ink to the autograph, but there's a place for it. He lands it perfectly above the border there. I just think this card's beautiful.
It is. And I love the gold paint pen. It just matches so well.
Yeah, the silver wouldn't work well in that year designer. You're spot on there.
Yeah.
The photography and layout of the card too of this one, just real quick. So they make a border with the outside photo of the card, but put it in black and white to really frame in and make that color pop, which I agree with you. This is a beauty. I don't know that I recall seeing this card, so I'm glad that you brought this one up. The
border really nice. Almost looks marbled, Chad, but then when you actually look at it, you realize it's the background. It's a cool effect.
Yeah.
All right, and last one that I bring up just because I think it's a slightly newer memory, but again one that is still talked about every time the playoffs come around. We talk about this moment, and it's 2024 Tayshaun Prince, and so this is the image of his chase down block against the Pacers, and this is just one of those highlights that comes off every single playoff series. When Chad pulls it up, you're gonna see it has a very clean look. I don't love this design, but what I do like about this timeless moments is this border was consistent across all of their autographs that year. So like their patch autos have the same border, so it makes the overall set look clean. But a nice blue ink auto. They faded out below the image there for him to sign. And a image like I don't recall ever seeing that angle of that shot. Like we see that
Right.
that replay a lot, and that's not like the angle that I'm used to seeing. So to mix it up a little bit there. And like I said, this is one that every single playoffs at some point is going to be brought up in a highlight package. So it's just such a core memory for me as a NBA fan that I think they nailed this one.
Definitely. That's a super cool. I love it when they do the like different angles or a different perspective of a moment that you know so well.
Yeah.
It reminds me almost like of a stadium club type approach, right?
For sure. All right, that's what I got. And if anybody disagrees with me, feel free to message me directly at Pack to the Future Podcast on Instagram, and I'll be happy to listen to you there.
He reads them all.
The other thing that I'll add here, I wish Panini One would do this across all sports, all brands, is on the bottom of this Tayshaun, it recaps the moment in a simple statement, right? Like Prince's late swat, Caps Royal beatdown. And so it gives you a little bit of a mindset of where we're coming from with this. Some of them do it, some don't. I love it when they do because it just adds more to the moment itself as opposed to some of the other ones like Trae Young that you mentioned. So, all right, good stuff, Steve. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and move forward.
Do you notice where the sticker for the Panini 1-in-1 is on that photo?
Yeah, it's upside down. they put it on upside down.
They put it in the one touch upside down. Yes.
Idiots. Yeah, I saw on Card Ladder, the first one that was listed. I purposefully didn't click it because I'm like, these idiots listed it upside down, but it's because they put where the sticker was upright. And
That's funny.
yeah, they definitely screwed that one over. So shout out Panini and not getting vertical right. So, all right, very good. Well, let's jump on over to the NFL. We'll just keep going in chronological order, and that one's going to be me. I've got a couple that I want to show. Now, with the NFL, you're going to find these Panini. You will find the timeless moments in Panini One, and really, there's only a couple of years that the NFL did this, and they started in 2022 with Panini One, and for me, this is undoubtedly my favorite set. Now, there's only 8 cards. They're all numbered to 10, and there were no other parallels. So if you're watching here on the YouTube, you can see pulled up on my screen, the checklist includes 8 big names. Justin Tucker, that's kind of a rough one to start with. Adrian Peterson. This isn't an all ethics team. This is a timeless moments team, I guess. But then we've got Eli Manning, Adam Vinatieri, Elway, Joe Namath, Dan Marino, and Emmitt Smith. Now, the reason I like these cards is I actually have this Elway. And to me, the card pops. Like, there is definitely a chromium feature to it. It's metallic. The border pops. It's got like the gold borders. And for the Elway card, if you're not familiar with this is the moment in the Super Bowl against the Packers. I think it was third quarter. The game was tied, and Elway does his iconic dive to get the first down. He probably would have had the first down anyway, to be honest with you, but he does his dive. He gets hit. He helicopters up in the air. Broncos score a touchdown the next play and go on to win Elway's first Super Bowl in Super Bowl 32. So that one to me really stands out, but the cards in this set are just so cool. Steve, there's one that you're going to like here. Let me see if I can show this. The Vinatieri might be my favorite out of the NFL timeless moments. If you thought a kicker could actually win that distinguished moment, here it is. It doesn't say which game it is, but Vinatieri is being held up by the offensive lineman in a snowy game, undoubtedly after kicking a field goal to win the game. My suspicion, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, was this the Tuck Rule game against the Raiders?
Yeah, and I
AFC
think
divisional
if you
round.
were to flip it over the back, I think it says that. But you can photo match it. I remember when that came out, a couple of people messaged me and said if I was a Patriots fan, this would be a must-have card for me because it's so well done with the image, the way they edited it, the foil. It's gorgeous.
I really like it. And I think we may get to this with Carter, but I love that this set only had the 10 cards, as I mentioned, that you're not getting parallels with it. You get 10 shots at it, and if you're lucky to get one, you've got it, and that's it. The other one that stands out from that set, and the reason why I like this one so much, is the Eli Manning. So sorry for this one here, Steve. This one is in the Super Bowl against your Patriots, and is the throw that he made on the final touchdown game-winning drive to Tyree. So if you flip it over, as you mentioned in the other one, this one does give a narrative about where this photo came from. I think it's fantastic. Again, there's only 10 of them. I'm not a big Eli guy, but that is a beautiful card in my book.
If you're a Giants fan, do you want this Manning or do you want the Tyree version of this card?
Tyree.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, but don't you, if you, Manning's the more value, right? Like he led him right in 2 Super Bowls, and like that's the start. I think I'd want the Manning, but if you wanted just the image, it's the Tyree. But that's like asking, do I want a Malcolm Butler interception card or a Tom Brady auto from that game, right? So I would go. What I was going to say, Chad, is similar to what we said about the Tayshaun. We see this highlight probably every playoff, unfortunately, because they still have never watched the very end of that game after that catch. But we see the rush that doesn't get through to Manning. We see him chuck it up, but then it goes straight to the catch. We never see a capture of Manning actually executing the play. It's always about the rush that he evades and doesn't get to him when they should have, and then the catch. So I think this is really cool that they took a different approach to this one and gave us something that features his moment within that moment. I think that's a really cool card.
And Steve, you're right. Like, I think there is a debate here because I would rather have Eli Manning's autograph than Tyree, but I'd rather have that. I think that photo is cooler, a more recognizable with that moment photo. But to your point, Steve, a different perspective, similar to the basketball example you gave.
In 2023, Panini One comes back with another checklist. This one, in my mind, I don't love it as much, but let's see if I can show the checklist here. You do get Peyton Manning. You get Eric Dickerson, which I thought was an odd inclusion, Drew Brees, Ray Lewis, and Ed Reed. Now, I tried to go through and see if I could find the backs of any of these cards on eBay to see what the moments were associated with Brees, Lewis, and Reed, and even Dickerson for that matter, and I couldn't find them. And the tricky part is, on the front of these cards, unlike that Tayshaun that we saw, it doesn't really give you an indication of where the moment comes from. So, for example, with this Peyton Manning that I'll show, at the front of the card, it just shows Peyton dropping back. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. And you have to flip to the back of the card for it to see that it's highlighting most passing touchdowns in a single season. So I guess the moment in this scenario is the entire season. It's cool. I don't own this card. I might own this card in the future, but it didn't stand out to me as much because I didn't necessarily love the photo and get that initial visceral reaction, like you said with Jeremy Lee, or Lynn, rather. So there's that set. And then there's one more that they did in 2024 with Panini One, and all they did was update the 2023 set, and they added 3 people. One of them was Tim Brown. I think Ricky Running Waters was another one, and then there's like one other person in the 2024 set, and that was it for football. Now, the only other comment that I'll make is football did put out a set called One Moment in Time, where there are 17 cards. Those are numbered to 99. And then they have parallels that include red, green, bronze, gold, platinum, and black. And they are very similar to Timeless Moments. And even the Elway that is listed in that one is an identical photo to this, which I don't personally love, that they are essentially replicating that. But those exist as well. Immaculate also has Moments, which commemorate a specific moment, just an entirely different set. But that's it. So a pretty brief run as far as NFL goes. If you guys have any comments on NFL, chime in now. If not, we'll keep plugging ahead. And Ricky, we'll put you up next with WWE.
All right. Well, for WWE, it's pretty straightforward. We only get 1 year of it. In 2024 Panini 3 count. This set, you ended up with 49, I believe, 50 cards that were part of the base set. So the initial base set, the whole set consisted of 200 cards. The 151 to 200 were the Timeless Moments, non-autographed. Within those 50 cards, you had parallels: red to 25, gold to 10, purple to 8, green to 5, pink, for first off the line, hollow gold first off the line, numbered to 2. The pink was numbered to 4, platinum 101. Then you also had a number of autographed examples that Chad's been showing that include the Timeless Moments autograph horizontal, which consisted of 15 cards. Again, you had multiple parallels: blue 49, purple 25, red 15, gold 10, pink 10, green 5, hollow gold 3, platinum 1 of 1. 15 cards total in that set, and then 14 cards from the vertical Timeless Moments checklist.
Ricky, can I stop you real quick?
Please.
Is that a sticker auto?
It is. That's a huge problem with these, in my opinion. All of them are sticker. They suck that way. They do capture a few good moments. There are a few that I thought were questionable moments in wrestling history. There are a few that, I don't know, just didn't hit with me. Maybe they were a little bit too recent. So I went through and simply selected 4 moments. I mean, I just cycled through as many of these as I could. Picked out the top 4 that really stood out to me, and I think I'm prepared to share these here.
Alrighty.
Let's see.
I'll stop sharing so you can pull those up.
Right.
Oh, I'm very excited. While you're pulling that up, I'll tease this. Something just got processed through eBay. That's going to make for a really fun, 10 minutes from now. So that's cool.
Nice. All right. So this is the first. You guys able to see that?
It looks like it's working on it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
So that's the first is Ultimate Warrior. This card is from April 1st, 1990. Ultimate Warrior, who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, took on Hulk Hogan in a who was the WWE Champion in a winner takes all match at WrestleMania 6. It's a cool moment. It's a cool old school Intercontinental title belt he's wearing. I think it's just a really cool photo overall. Classic Ultimate Warrior in his heyday in the very early 90s, very late 80s. The second card that I had selected from this set was Mankind. And you'll notice the Ultimate Warrior obviously is not autographed. The Mankind is not autographed. A lot of the cool cards that they picked up are not necessarily the autographed copies, and often very affordable. So definitely worth checking out. Of course, I'm going to select Mankind, King of the Ring, with The Undertaker, June 28th, 1998. This is when they are on the top of the cell, shortly before The Undertaker, I'm guessing, is going to throw him off onto Jim Ross's announcer table, breaking the table and crushing the Mankind's body. Although it could be when they climbed back up on the ring, the cage, and Undertaker was going to body slam him. straight through the cage into the ring full of tacks. So excellent match. One of the best matches of all time in wrestling, if you ask anyone. So definitely had to make the list.
We still have Warrior pulled up, just so you know, as you're scrolling through there.
Oh, do we? Okay, let's see if I can't. Let's see. I got to select a new tab.
I tell you, when we mix up when we switch up our duties, like I try and run soundboard and you trying to run video, it rocks our world.
Yeah.
It is not an easy task. Steve, I think you found that out last week, right? You were running the show as Joey was out on Hoops Hobby, as you were also a part of my walk today. So thank you for joining me.
Yeah, it becomes a mess. No bueno.
So,
Hey, Ricky, there you go. You got it,
there
man.
you go. There's your Undertaker, Mankind on top of the cage. Again, an aerial shot, a unique angle, as we've seen through Steve and Chad's examples. And I don't know, just a really cool moment of one of the most famous matches in wrestling history. All right, next we've got, let's see what we got here. Oh, we got The Undertaker. Got my boy, The Undertaker. This is going to be our first autograph card that was just, it's a must have. If you've listened to our Sunday night's main event, this card will be of no surprise to you. That is The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, the streak versus the career match. Shawn Michaels' final match took place March 28th, 2010 at WrestleMania 36. 26. To this day, universally cited as one of the greatest matches of all time. I'm telling you, the backstory, the match, you really can go back to the WrestleMania prior, where this is actually a rematch from that prior WrestleMania, and the backstory is one of the best that we've seen in wrestling history. And it was cool that it happened so late in time in 2010. Wrestling, notably after the late 90s, started getting softer to embrace more of a family dynamic. This was one of the last kind of big storylines I can remember that, man, really hit me hard. I think others could say Cena and stuff, but this one just meant so much to me. So had to be on the list, and I'll be shopping for that one later.
Nice.
All right. And finally, just because it is such a big moment in wrestling history, and I thought it was interesting. I guess they really don't care now because this company is dead and no longer a threat to the WWE, but this is actually a WCW moment.
I'm really curious what you were going to put as your top one when you said that you were going to rank them. I don't know what you're going to post.
Yeah, well, I mean, these aren't necessarily in any ranked order. Undertaker would clearly be number one.
Gotcha,
I would say this is going to be like an honorable mention. Honestly, it's an important moment, and it will help me highlight if I can find the dang tab. I have way too many tabs open. This is a problem.
We've always said that.
Here we go. All right. Scott Hall, May 27th, 1996. Looks like kind of a boring card. He's in just street clothes in the middle of the ring. This is the day he appeared on WCW and announced, hey, I'm an outsider. I've arrived. Him and Kevin Nash are what created the NWO, complete with Eric Bischoff, of course, and Hogan. Completely turned wrestling on its head, created the best wrestling competition of all time for several years. This was a timeless moment, and I think well captured. So definitely it had to be an honorable mention.
I like it, man. I like it. The emotions that come out of it, I think, hit exactly with what I was feeling to review these. So well done, man.
Thank you.
All right, last but not least, the guy who prompted all this and has had to sit in the shadows. Carter, it's now your time to shine. Why don't you talk to us about, as you guys seem to call it, the WNBA Timeless Moments?
Yeah, not sure if I meant to prompt this. I'm just living my life over here. So
You're an influencer, Carter.
sorry for accidentally influencing you once again, but here we go. So WNBA timeless moments. I'll just run through the history of this set in the league. The legacy of WNBA timeless moments goes all the way back to December, and so there's a lot to go through here. We're gonna start. We're gonna start with the one checklist that exists. I'll share my screen so you guys can kind of see what I've got pulled up. Wow. Okay, let's pull up a whole entire screen.
It's a little tricky, isn't it? Yeah. It
Yeah, it was like, hey, do you want to pull up one of your 20 tabs, or do you want to pull up your whole screen? And now it's getting trippy on me. All right. So here's the checklist. It's several cards. There's 20 in this set out of Impeccable, and several parallels. I mean, it's got tons. I saw plenty of the other ones like NFL. I was very jealous of how rare those were. But on the other hand, these are very accessible. They're very possible to get, which is how I've been able to get two. So I grabbed the Alyssa Thomas, which is out of 25. This copy. This is her triple-double that caused them to win a game. So,
very nice.
But
it's a moment.
Steve knows Alyssa Thomas is like the Russell Westbrook of the W, or at least the Oscar Robinson, just triple-doubles everywhere. So I thought that was pretty cool for her because that's kind of her signature thing. I'm actually watching her play right now. She's getting smacked, though.
At least give a little love, Carter. It was a finals game.
Was it a finals game?
The first triple-double in WNBA finals history, yes.
Yeah, you're right. It's the first finals triple-double, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. But it's an even bigger deal when you win the finals, which this is my other one. It's Asia Wilson winning her back-to-back finals and becoming the finals MVP for the first time. And this one is, I love this one because it's the copy out of 25. It's jersey number 22 of 25. Steve would say this is not jersey numbered because she's not wearing her jersey. I would say it's 22. She's 22. She wouldn't have gotten to this spot if she wasn't wearing 22 for the 40 minutes before that. But anyway, love that card.
It's jersey numbered. I saw it on your post. You didn't post that, but I noticed it was jersey numbered. It is jersey numbered. I don't care what the grumpy old man has to say.
Yeah. The grumpy old Steve is also the one who put me onto that listing, so it's his fault that I have it.
So Steve's playing for all of this. Okay.
But these are two pretty contemporary cards. Like these moments happened much more recently in the last 5 years. A lot of these on this checklist, though, go way back. You've got some of the first players ever: Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, Becca Lobo, and for this set, I would kind of split these moments into kind of three general categories, which is how I think about it. I think about it through the lens of what made the moment timeless, and they have kind of a few different angles that they went from with this. They went from what I would say was stats-oriented moments, achievement-oriented moments, and highlight-oriented moments. And so I'll kind of show you what I mean. First up, this is Arike Agunbowale scoring a record 34 points in an All-Star game. That's kind of a stat-centric moment, right? And Becca Lobo scored 16 in the inaugural game. I would say that's more of an achievement-centered moment. It's not really about the 16. 16 is not that many points, but it's the first game, right? They got to the first game, and she was the game high scorer in that. And so I kind of separate them that way. Like Swoops winning the three-peat, that's achievement-oriented. Cooper winning the second one, that's achievement-oriented. Another achievement-oriented, winning a finals. There's a lot of these that are photos just after the finals. This one's interesting to me. This is Brittany Griner scoring a game-high 18 points. Still, not huge. I would say this is more of an achievement thing. This is her return to action after being falsely imprisoned in Russia. And so she came back from that and scored a game-high in her return. It was just a really cool moment. Interesting that they included that. Of course, they're going to put a Clark in there, so they put in her setting the rookie scoring record. That's kind of an achievement as well. And then there's some that are like actual highlights. These were what I would say are like the highlight moments, like Alana Beard hitting a game winner in game one of the finals. That's like a singular highlight. That's not an achievement necessarily so much. It's not a stat. It's a highlight. And so those are the ones that I really gravitate towards, right? Steele.
That was an incredible photo.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, it gets better. So there's several more of these. That's the AT closer up. This one is really cool. This is like a highlight. This is Brittany Griner as a rookie in her first game dunking a basketball, which was just a really big deal. You know, Asia Wilson winning the back-to-back. That's really more of an achievement centered one. It's not a singular moment. This Chelsea Gray game winner is awesome to win game one in the finals. Really cool when they pan out these huge ones. I would say this is, of my top 5, this is my number 5. And I kind of listed the last ones in order. This is my number 4. This is an achievement. I gravitate more towards the highlights. But this is after winning the finals. Stewie, she swept in the 2020 finals, and just, you know, doing her little confetti angel I think is a super cool photo. Like you said, Chad, it goes outside of the border too, which is really fun. Gives a cool effect to it. This one is my third favorite. This is Kalia Copper hitting a game winner in the first mid-season cup tournament championship that they had. I think it was the first, maybe the second. I can't remember. But just a super cool photo. Like, I love the excitement there. I think photos like that bring you back to the moment. You know what I mean? Like, not just that game, but that moment in the game. My second favorite, this I think is the best picture. This is the best photo of all of them. This is Maya Moore hitting a game winner in the finals for one of their titles over the Fever. And it's against this like Fever crowd. So it's a hostile environment. And if you go back, if you're going to watch one highlight from WNBA history, this is the one. Like, this was such a cool play that she was able to pull off, and just really highlights her greatness. And so I'm glad they captured that in a photo. Especially, you got to have something cool to take up the whole card, because her autograph is tiny on here. But that might be because they gave her a small space. Who knows? She generally has a better autograph than that. This is my favorite one. I think Steve likes this one too. I still don't have one of these. I think, Steve, did you get one of these? I think you did. But this is Lisa Leslie with the first slam dunk in W history. Super cool. So I love this because, like, this, Steve, I think you were talking about how Tayshaun gets played in the playoffs, his highlight. I think anytime you see a recap of like the highlights from WNBA history, this is one of them. Like, Lisa Leslie doing the first dunk in league history. Just a super cool moment. I think it took everybody by surprise. It just really makes for a neat photo. And so those are the things, like those highlight oriented moments. I think those are the ones that I really gravitate towards from this set. Like, I didn't even put this Asia Wilson, even though I had to grab this one. I didn't put it in my top 5 favorite cards from the set. But I'm hoping next year, if they do it again, that they will put her game winner in the finals from this past year in there. And I'll definitely be scooping that up and considering that one of the better ones from the set. So that's it for W.
All right. Well done. I must say, Carter, your post about the Asia really inspired me to look at these. Now, Ricky, Sarah, and I broke down these cards a few weeks ago on Card Talk, and I was loving on them then. And you guys inspired me. You inspired me to go buy tickets to see Portland Fire play Las Vegas Aces, which I'll be doing in a couple weeks. And he also inspired a couple other things too. And Ricky and I weren't really sure how to handle this. And I got to say, you guys went a very different way than what I thought you would in describing this, because in our group chat, there was a lot of discussion over one specific card. And the card was the Asia, the 101, which I bought.
Dude.
And not only did I love that so much, but this morning, I'm all in on these. I'm all in on every aspect of Carter of what you just said, because this one is on the way to my house as well. These cards look great, and I think that they capture exactly the essence of what Timeless Moments is at its best. I will never declare myself as a massive WNBA fan up until this point. The wife and I are going to go to some games and hopefully enjoying that. But you guys have certainly inspired me on these purchases. So I'm excited to have them and certainly love this product.
Man, congrats on those. Those are both amazing.
Yeah, they're
Thanks
fun
for
cards.
creating more competition for us, Carter.
I am no competition for that.
No, the platinums I'm not touching.
I'm good with my out of 25s. I'm fine with that. But yeah, what happens when you influence somebody to be better than you?
No,
Did you get like a badge for that?
I did my little bit of research on this. So Steve, after listening to you and the guys at Hoops Hobby Hangout completely bash parallels and numbered cards and generated number cards, I knew that wasn't going to be an issue. In fact, I didn't buy this card until after I listened to your podcast last week. And Carter and I were actually talking about that, Asia, and when I knew that he wasn't going to buy it, that's what inspired that. But don't worry, there will be no further competition. I just love these Timeless Moments cards. So that is all. All right, dudes. Well, Ricky, anything to add there before we let these guys go?
No, excellent show. Thank you all for spending the time with us. We're seeing in the chat they're loving the cards that they've seen, even those that have joined a little bit later. Go back and watch us on YouTube, Back to the Future podcast. Thank you, Boston Steve, Carter, and Bright Lights, Big City. Promo D, Kansas City Dan, for everything, and awesome show. That was an excellent time. With that, it's been a fun show for Chad. I'm Ricky, the W, wishing all of you a one of one night.
So, Ricky, how are we supposed to do this exit now that Dan's like right here with us?
Hey, Dan.
Sir?